I'm going to now show you how to put together your new Optimill. Everything you need comes in a box. I've already taken out of the box. But you have the deck or the base, you got the handrails, 2 uprights, all the tools you're going to need, of course the monitor, batteries, and all the hardware. So let's get started putting together your Optimill. The first step you need to do is take one of the uprights, the one without the wire on it, and we're going to put it in on the other side, and you'll take 2 of these bolts right here, the long ones with the lock washers, and put it in. To finish tightening up these bolts, you're going to need to have your hex wrench that came included in your box. Snug it tight. Now let's go over to the second upright. This one has wires on it, so there'll be a little bit of connection. You have to connect the 2 wires before you insert it. This is the most tricky part. Be very delicate so you don't accidentally chop off one of the wires when you insert the 2 together. So you'll press the clips here together, just like that. And then you're going to want to feed in the remaining portion of the wire into the base or into the upright. Now that that's in, we'll take the 2 remaining long bolts with the lock washers and put them in here with your hex driver. The next step, we're going to put the handlebars on. This might be an area where you might need to have a friend help you, but I'm going to see if I can do it by myself. You're going to need the handlebars and, of course, the 4 bolts, and it also includes a small little hex wrench. This also doubles. This particular one has a Phillips on the other side. We'll use that a little bit later. So I'm going to take my bolt and put 2 on each side of the upright so they'll be easy to access. You'll see there's a wire coming out of the handlebar here and another wire coming out of the upright. You're going to make sure these connect before you put it together. And we're going to lift it up. This is where that second person's handy. Hold it in place and then shove this wire into either the handlebar or the base, or both. Once that's in place, I try to hold it down with one hand so it stays relatively locked in place. You take your first bolt and attach it to the first position. Once this is partially tied in, it won't fall out. I go and do the one on the other side. All right, the last step is to put the monitor on. The monitor, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, which comes in the kit. You also need the hardware and a couple batteries. It's very simple to do this. Sometimes when you get it out of the box, the monitor might be together, but it just splits open like a clamshell. The first step we're going to do, we're going to want to connect this wire that's coming out of the rail to this socket that has ENC on it. It's right next to the one that's already connected between the monitor and the circuit board. So you want to plug it in right there to the ENC. That's where you're going to want to connect this. So it's here, and you simply push it in till it engages, and you'll hear a clicking sound. That's your first step to put the monitor together. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to mount the front plate to the face plate to the monitor itself. And we're going to use that with 4 screws. It's the smaller screws down here. And of course the wires are going to come out the bottom. These 4 small screws will go into each of the 4 most perimeter positions. All right, now we're going to attach the monitor to the handrail. To do that, of course, you have some excess wiring. You're going to either shove some of the wiring up into the monitor console itself and or put some of it into the handrail itself. And it just drops over the top. This metal piece right here goes inset into the monitor. and it drops in place like this. Then you'll use the other screws you've got, and this will mount the monitor to the handrail, and you use these 4 different hole positions in here to do that. All right, the last step is to put the batteries in. Just pop open this case right here. There's only 2 spots for the AA batteries. Simply put in the negative side onto the spring, drop this one in, drop this one in as well, and then you drop over the case. Now to verify that everything's working just fine, you roll the belt and you should hear a little beep that sounds. That means everything's connected. If it doesn't beep, then maybe your wiring is off a little bit. But once you slide in, it beeps, it's ready to go. You can simply test it by getting onto the treadmill and starting to walk. And that's how simple it is to assemble the Optimill by Stroops.